Hello, everybody. Tech Stack here. We're back at it. Early morning. Somewhat early. And we've got our Python script open here. Want to show off what I did off stream yesterday. Couldn't stream last night. Ended up just crashing really early. So, we've now got the script changed. Instead of creating each of the block objects in Blender by hand in code, we are now creating them in a separate file. So if I go back to the main layer here, get out of this mode, you can see there's lots of different blocks in this blocks blender file. And we are referencing this blocks blender file in an append call and calling out the specific object names that we want to pull in. That makes it pretty easy to do. I can create whatever I want basically now, right? Instead of doing it by code. So if I go back to this other tab here, I started working on the walls. A foundation for them, really, right? And we'll use this going forward basically now, right? So I think all this is good. If you notice, there's a lot of repetitiveness to this, right? So there's set the pull the object name, reselect that object as an active object so that this piece works, right? And then set the name of that object. I think I probably can set this up as one method call, except for the name of the individual block variable that we want to call. So I think that's the first piece I want to do to streamline all this from what, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code, probably 1 for each individual block, if we just set up as a definition here. So I'm going to define a new load block geometry, Geometry, and it's going to take a block name. Let's see, that's probably a bad form to do it like that, because it's going to be the same as everything else. Name of block. Block. There we go. And we're going to say these lines of code essentially, but we'll start changing it up from there. So I'm going to go into there. Tab. Nice. My Notepad++ is nice and from doing that. So we're going to say name of block gets appended right here. And name of block's going to go right there. And name of block's going to go right here. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is take this and see if I can do bpy.context.object equals that. No, wait, dot name. Yeah, not 2 dots. Equals name of block. Okay. And then we're going to return all of that. So now this call becomes full block has substairs. Okay, so make sure I didn't get rid of one. So now in order to load the geometry, we basically say this like this. And we just say full block. Boom. Let's also make sure before I save this that I've made a commit of this previously. It's not in this, it's in this one. MC to Blender. Okay, let's get rid of all that. Select just that one. Cleaning up, creating blocks via code. That's really all that was just deleting all those lines. and then get the blocks.blender files. Default blocks. Adding more default blocks like the walls. And then let's commit all this. Miss scanned objects. Cool. Okay, now that we got that set, we can start copying this in. Basically need to do this instead of all that. So why am I going through the hassle doing this? I expect Foley to need to create a lot of different blocks for this to work. When I was doing the wall shapes, I've got at least 3 wall shapes, and I might end up making that 6 or 7 for simplicity's sake. That's all there is to it. Some part of me wants to make all this line up, but I'm going to resist that urge because I don't know if it's going to cause problems in Python. That's really all there's to it. That's all the material stuff there. It's a long little procedure. Function, whatever. Down here is the cleanup section. Let's actually move that up in line with what we just created so that it's pretty obvious we need to edit both sections, right? So as we add one of these, we need to add one here to clean it up as well. If I had an array of these, it'd probably be easier. I could go loop through the whole array. But I kind of want to have specific names that I can call out for them. Yeah. Let's test it as is now with our change we just made. So you see I was working on building some additional arches and things like that offline. So if we come back here, and let's just place a block down there in that spot. Right click, delete that block. Shift right click on this one and do scan closed door. Let's close Blender first, just so we're not confused as to which is which. Also, yeah, let's get all those objects visible in the same layer or on the same thing, because I don't know if that's going to cause us problems. We're not visible. Blender loads. There is our thing. Looks like we do not have the other objects up at 500, which is good. Yeah, there's nothing else up there. Cool. Still not sure about how we're going to make this thing save the like we've got it saving the Blender file, that's not an issue, but should it save it like this with the one corner being the center point? Because now if I take this whole thing and rotate, it's going to rotate around that spot. I don't know that I want it that to work that way. That's something we'll definitely have to settle on in, what's the word I'm looking for? Something we'll have to settle for in before we start working in Unity, because it's going to impact where Unity's rotation is and the translation and all that. So if we change it later, then it's going to change all of our chunk setups, right? So if I just pull this in here and start rotating it in Unity, if I grab the right tool, it's going to rotate off of that corner instead of the center of the object. So having it centered in Blender would be nice. But for now, we're kind of just doing examples. for working with. Let's just fix that. Okay, how are we gonna fix that? We're gonna create some more global variables. In fact, I need to reorder my code a little bit. Let's take this to the very, very top now. With this, we're gonna take this, move it down here. And let's create a comment. Global variables that we get to use everywhere. Block templates to use to scan into our final file as copies. Okay, we've got our definitions up there. We can get rid of this section, it's no longer needed. Creating a block, creating stairs, creating half slabs. That's no longer needed. We're just cleaning up. Facing values, half values, shape processing. Shape equals value. I forget what we use shape for. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Which type of stair do we pull? Get rid of that. This is where our project, or not project, everything actually starts processing through, right? So, start of actual code. Hey, Cobalt. How are you today? Python, Java, and C#. So, Python because we're using Blender, Java because I'm using a Minecraft mod. Hey, Deltrick, how's it going? Right. So, if you're new, I've got a Minecraft mod that I can right-click on 2 points. Hey, thank you. Thank you for the sub, man. Gotta keep my window open so I can see those. That's awesome. Welcome. Now you get special. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Where's my button? I should have it right here. Yeah, my quick chats. You get these that you can do. Aw. My quick chats are not functioning today because I probably need to log back in. So you get these. I'll do it that way. Yeah, I use that all the time. The Twitch Prime free. It's awesome. So anyway, you scan 2 points, you type a command, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it even though we've got it open here. So I'm going to close Blender. My Java mod basically scans all those blocks in that area that we've marked. And apparently we just broke it when we made our changes in Python. Cool. And it's supposed to open up Blender with that object in there. So the Python piece reads in the file we're saving from the Minecraft mod. So what did I break? Well, the only way to really tell is to kill this, and from our command prompt, open Blender, so that we get a console to look at. We're going to open our blank blend, and we're going to go to script editing mode, and go to open, see the blend. So I want to make a game, but in order to get to the game, we are going a roundabout way because it seems fun. So I've made a Minecraft mod that will let me scan in regions of a Minecraft world, save it to a file. Then we've made a Blender Python script that takes that text file that says, here's all the blocks, and imports it into Blender. So if I hit run script here, it's going to fail because of the script section where it defaults in what variable we're using. It feels cool. Hopefully it's useful. So ultimately then when it's done, the Blender file will save off, and we can just import that directly into Unity. So close door, put that there. And let's run this, see where our error is at the moment. Line 17. I'm sure it's something stupid that I copied and pasted or got rid of. Why is that erroring off now? Load block geometry is not defined. Really? It has to be defined above it? Okay. Dang it. We'll do it that way then. Oh, we can't save that. This one. We'll put it there. Save it there. Close it here. Open again. Okay, it's moved around. Now it works. Cool. So now that we got that working, we can demo it from Minecraft directly. So I've already clicked my 2 spots with my big scanner wand here. Scan, close door, and Blender automatically opened, and there's our blocks. Right, so that's the shape of those Minecraft blocks, including the stairs, all of that. So if we go in here, there's our stair. Cool. So I'm doing this so like I can just import this into Unity, right? So I got Unity up and over here. It's gonna find that additional closed door, and there it is, bam, right? So it's stupid simple for me to get things in there. No, going the other way. Taken from Minecraft, just the placement of the blocks to create a Blender file that I can use in Unity. So what I want to work on is a endless dungeon crawler that we've designed in Minecraft before using a Spigot plugin. And I just want to make it in Unity because A, I can make the graphics look better, right? And B, I can add more things to it than what we could with the Spigot plugin. Spigot plugin is just server side, so there's no ability to add custom mobs to it other than like a zombie with a crafting block head on top of him, right? It's still a zombie in Minecraft terms. So, you know, I can scan this bridge in, use that bridge in Unity as a section of my world. If I actually play this in Unity, and I haven't done this in a few days, so I'm not sure it still works. So forgive me if it doesn't. But if I play this, yeah, we just fall through the world. I know why it's doing that, so let me fix it real quick. I think there is a scriptable object down here, which is start area, and it's saying the prefab is start area. Oh. Yeah, that's what's doing it. So scriptable objects, it needs to be a different thing called start area. It should be under prefabs, right? Yeah, I don't have one defined. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna play it and show you the scene. Control-Shift-P to pause the game. So you see how it's making like a checkerboard pattern? I know it's not directly a checkerboard pattern because I have more than 2 colors there, but you notice the green ones are on, let's say, the black squares of a checkerboard. That's how my random generation works. As I add more than just 3 different types, this will feel way more random. That's how we do it in the Demon Depths in Minecraft. We probably have, so there's a unique and a connector type that make up the checkerboard pattern for the black and the white squares, and we have probably 20 or 30 uniques and another 15 connectors, and it feels very random. So if I can get to say 50 of each or 100, it will be very, very random. And the other benefit of doing it this way is my original way of doing Demon Depths in Minecraft was very, very limited in how the generation worked. It didn't try intelligently looking to see should this be difficult or not. It just picked one of the random types and threw the player into it. So with what I'm building now on my scriptable objects in Unity, I can add additional attributes about the module that I'm going to spawn to say difficulty, is this a boss module, etc. Okay, where was I on the Python stuff? So we were cleaning things up. We've got this now. We've got in our Blender, not this one, but this other Blender file, this blocks.blend. We've now added some additional shapes that we need to start coding for. How do not include the floor in your scanning? If you're asking about that wall, why I didn't get the floor of the wall, it's because I literally right-click there, place the block there up off the ground, and shift right-clicked on that one as my second marker. So it scanned everything between those 2 points. If I were to do this instead, shift right-click on the ground, it would pick that ground block as well. So I could do it either way I wanted. Yeah. So from a Minecraft perspective, it's literally this item. I right-click on one point, I shift right-click on the second point, and then type one command, and it does everything else. Oh, yeah, that's because in Unity, so I've worked on a couple variations of this. The starting area, this one, is from the original Death Cube. I figured out how to, oh gosh, there we go, pull in the files we saved for the original Death Cube into here, but it's limited, right? So we used a 4 chunk, so 2 chunks by 2 chunk area of Minecraft in the original Death Cube because it was a Minecraft. Excuse me, and that gives you a 32 by 32 area. In Unity, I want it to be a 64 by 64 area just to give you more play space in each randomly generated section. I also think that it will help make it not feel so repetitive by doing it that way. So anyway, I use that as a template in my starting area. I had a house somewhere, I just haven't fixed the starting area. I need to fix the starting area. That's what it comes down to. So, sections. Is it intro? No, not intro. Starting area. There. So this was a temporary starting area before I came up with the whole Minecraft idea. So let's reset its transform. When you enter a room, sorry, 1 second. When you enter a room, will doors close and you have to kill all the entities before you leave the room? So that might be dependent on the room itself. So some of the boss type rooms that we had in the original Death Cube would do that type of thing. But not all. Let's see, we went on an original prefab. We will delete this one. I will leave it. Starting at 1, that's fine. And go scriptable objects, starting area, and we want to get that prefab back. Say prefab 1, and now when I run the game, we will have the starting area loaded in instead, along with something else for some reason. Oh yeah, because we didn't clear that stuff out. Here, let's do this. Whatever that object is, this one. We don't need that one. Don't. Well, we want the torch, so we can see. Oop. Yes, spawned on its side. I know why. We need an empty start area. I haven't been working in Unity for a couple days to get this to the point that it is. Let's delete this one. Yeah, delete. Start area. Come on. It probably is doing it because it says. Start area. There we go. It has to be a child so that it maintains the rotation when it spawns, because the spawning code overrides the original rotation. Okay, now if I delete it, instant play. So I am in the room. You can go down this little hallway. This portion's completely going to change, and of course all these green and red ones will too. So you can see there's the infinite generation. And they will have multiple floors to them, so if I can ever walk over to it, you can see I can fall down to the next floor, and the next floor. That type of thing. So the original Death Cube, the connectors and the uniques, all connectors had a guarantee of 3 doors per side per floor, and there was 3 floors. So each floor was guaranteed to have openings to the uniques that it was connected to, or the other checkerboard pattern, for 9 on each door or each direction. So a total of 36 connected points. That's why it's called a connector. Then the uniques were guaranteed to have at least 1 door on 2 of its sides. So when you put the puzzle together, you can go infinitely through the whole world. I've never seen it where it gets stuck in a loop, which you would think it would, but it doesn't, because they're guaranteed to have at least 2 doors, those uniques. A lot of them have doors to all 4 directions. It's just on 1 floor, 1 door kind of thing. Okay, so these walls, we need to scan a wall in from Minecraft first off. Wall. Actually, we've already got an area set up with walls. So let's scan from, say, here. Actually, we just need to scan to there. Scan from there to there. Scan. Wall test. Let's kill Blender because it's going to open Blender. Oh, forgot the underscore. Okay. There was Blender. So that's what it spawned in at the moment, because we don't have a wall block defined as anything other than a full cube at the moment. Let's open that file we just scanned out. So let me find my Explore window. Could you make a block that isn't included in the scan to make things easier? I could, but it's easy enough just to place a block temporarily. Because now that I've got those points set, I can rescan it as many times as I want to without resetting those points. Let's open this in Notepad. Hey, thank you for the follow. Z-Cat. There are iron bars and cobblestone wall. Ooh. We are getting some funky characters in here. That's a first. So when we look at those... Oh, it's the coloring! Crap! Oh, okay, so to the Java code. We are getting... that section of information from Get Block Properties. Get Block Properties is doing all of this. So we could take... How is this set up to do this? Because it doesn't make sense. It's adding the colors after it's... Ah, okay. So the last thing it does is add the property. From S. Property name : S. So if we got rid of this section, it wouldn't color it anymore. So there we go. Let's scan again. open the notepad file. Yes. Oh. What? Let's close both of the Blender files in case it had it open for some reason. Close you, please, close, sir. We don't want you anymore. Why did it not open? Did we call it wall test? We did. Oh, okay. Let's restart Minecraft. I don't think I put it in debug mode. So this is saved. To put in debug mode this time. Go back, sir. Single player, this world. Okay, so I have to scan again. So right click, shift right click, scan, wall, test. Yes, there we go. We got rid of our special characters. So now we can look at it and say, is it east, north, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna keep that on my other screen here. We're gonna look in Blender. And we're gonna look at our Python code as well. So, where do you? We need to grab our wall objects, so we need the names of our wall objects. Open blocks.blend. And let's just go to this section here. And our wall section looks like that. That's wall 1. We want wall solo though to start with, I think. I'm almost thinking, given that this is set up like this in Minecraft, saying which direction it's connected to, that we need to create one for each variation of every combination, basically, right? So right now, this here, this block, I do F3 on it. It's got east, north, south, and west as true. But if we looked at that one, it's only got south as true, because that is the south direction. So let's do that. So instead of, I was thinking I was going to rotate them around and stuff, but I forgot about all 4 directions originally when I set these up. So I've got one that's just the center point, so that'd be false on all 4 cardinal directions. We've got that one. We'll call this one wall east, wall north. I don't know. Wall in, wall north. Got a wall full. We'll call that one. Oop, how about north south? It's to the north, north, and south. So that'd be north and west. Okay. We would want one It's northwest and east. So let's take this and duplicate. Come on, duplicate. NWE. Edit this one. We're going to extrude, and how far out do we need to extrude that? I think it was 0.25. Look at that top view. Those appear to be the same size. So that's northwest and east. Then let's duplicate that one. North, east, west. West, east, south. Extrude 0.25. And so we don't have a north, south. We need one that's east and west. So let's duplicate this one. Right, so these are the shapes that we spawn in Blender. Originally I was setting up through code, but now I've got a separate Blender file that I'm using and just appending from that into the one we're building out these objects, and then making copies of them over and over again to build the actual geometry that we've got in the world. So this lets me make the Blender file using actual Blender mechanics, right? I can go into edit mode and do it instead of typing create a point here and a point here and a point here and a point here and make them a face, that type of stuff. Yeah, exactly. Which is how I was doing it originally, and it worked, but it was tedious. Like, it was a lot of mistakes over and over again. Okay, so there's our east-west variant. We've got our north variant. We've got a south. We don't have a south variant. This is going to be a lot of them, right? It's going to be 2 to the 4th combinations. 2 to the 4th. Where's our power button? Okay, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. There's gonna be 16 of these things. X2 does whatever you got times to the 2nd power. We wanted to do the 4th power. $16 of them plus the... Nah, it'd be 16 of them. Crap. Do I really want 16 objects, or do I want to build the standards and then rotate? Because technically, right, wall north is the same as a wall south. It's just rotated a different direction. Right. Right, yeah, I know. There's fences. Basically, what this is here is a prototype of everything that I wanted to be able to support in this. So I wanted some type of thin bar. I would want all the fence variations. I might want an in rod and an in bar by itself, as long as a wall by itself. I would want the anvils, which is just one model rotated, right? So that's simple enough. The snow layers, someone suggested that, and then trapdoor variations, so all the different rotations and flipping of the door. I've already got the staircases taken care of, and I've got the slabs taken care of, and a full block taken care of. So maybe rotating would be useful, as that would be saving you from making 16 variants of that as well. Yeah, I know. Trying to think through what's the most efficient way of doing it, though, code-wise as well. Because if I create 16 of these, then I need 16 variables in memory sitting around, probably doing nothing most of the time, because I probably won't use walls that often. But if I do the rotation thing, then I've got to figure out how the rotation piece, right? When there's no rotation on this block, right? So when it's saved, it just says this. These aren't even facing values, which was what we've got already coded for. So facing values say northeast, south, and west, but it's the first half of this says facing instead of the cardinal direction. There's also this up. I don't know that I'm going to code anything different for up. Minecraft has that set, yeah, but I don't care about that. And that's more for when there's a block above a block. It changes how the wall looks. So if you do like this, there's that smooth part in the middle, but if you do this, it changes it to have that bump in it when there's something above it. So that one's got up true, this one's has up false. Just indicates whether or not that little bump's there. I don't care for the bump myself. So we're going to ignore that one, because that'd be 32 combinations then. So if we don't want to do it that way, we would need one that's, say, the center point and 1, right? Which would be our north, right, that we've got now. We would need one that's a center point and, say, like a 90-degree orientation. And that would take care of the northeast, the east-south, the southwest, and the west or northwest variations. So that takes care of 4 of them. The single point off would take care of 4 of them as well, because it'd be the north, the east, the south, and the west variant. Then if I did 3 points coming off, that would be a north, east, and a south by default, or a east, south, west, or a southwest, north combination, or a west, north, and east. So basically I'm just taking, you know, the 3 points, rotating at 90 degrees, rotating at 90 degrees, rotating at 90 degrees, rotating at 90 degrees to get all 4 possible. So that takes care of 12 of them. Then there would be one that's all 4, and rotating that wouldn't matter. So that'd be a north, east, southwest. There would be the original, which is just the single cube by itself. So that's 4, 4, 4, 1, 1. We need 2 more, right? That's going to be the straight across. So, yeah, so north and south and east and west. So straight across, middle point here, and then straight across like that. That'd be the other 2. So it's 2, 2, 4. Yeah, that's all 16 combinations. So this would be 1. Actually, let's move these to another layer. Let's move this to the 3rd layer. North-south would be 1. Move that to another layer. Yes, 4 models with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models. 6 models instead of 16. But we'd have to figure out the rotations for them all. So which one I got selected? Okay, so that could be that version of it. So move that one to the 3rd layer. We got here, that's all 4. That is a straight wall as well, but this one is the same as north-south, which we already captured, so delete this one. And that's a triple as well. And delete that one. And then the single will move to the 3rd layer. Okay, so if we go to the 3rd layer now, we've got how many? Let's move these in different spots, I guess. I almost hate doing this because I know I'm going to have to move them back. Oh, wait, let's do it this way. So, where is our solo? Okay, so that one will be Y5. Where'd you go? X5. Come on. There. So that's the first one I got on my piece of paper I got in front of me. Then we need that one, so this will be 4. Just trying to be organized. Then we need this, which I'm going to go into edit mode and rotate this 90 degrees. So it fits my, oh no. Really? Rotate Z, 90, negative. I hope these rotate right. Grab Y, X, 3. There we go. Okay. That's my last one on my piece of paper. Then this one goes back to 0 and goes to 2. So my solo to the north and the east. We're missing one. No, go to 1. Go to 1. There we go. Okay, and then this is the bottom one. So we're missing the one that's a triple prong. The easiest way to build that one's probably to copy this one. Let's also rename these. So just wall north. Call this one northeast. This is no northeast, southwest. Just go around the compass, and that's north, south. So if we take this, duplicate this, and this will be named northeast, south. We're going to move it to 2. There we go. And we're going to go to edit mode with it. Grab this face, extrude it 0.25, and then we should have all of them. Center point looks to be correct on all of them. That's good. That should be the shapes. So I'm going to save this block blender file. I'm going to grab all of these and see if it lets me set all of theirs. Oh, X to 0 now. It does not. Just the one that's active. Notice the Z's up there at 500, so it's very obvious that this is not part of the geometry we're scanning in. If it should ever not delete these later. That's why I've done that. So let's move everything back to the first layer, because that's how I want it to be set up. So everything's all one. What? Why'd you get over here? Z. There, select everything. Okay, save. So they're all there. Save this, I don't know, 600 times, because I'm paranoid about it being lost for some reason. And we need to go into our other file, the Python file, and we need to load each one of these blocks, right? So wall in, wall in, wall NE, wall NES for your Super Nintendo, wall, oops, wall NESW, and wall NS. Let's do this. Sure, we'll grab all that. And W was uppercase in all these, of course. Gotta change that. Okay, this should load all of the blocks for us then. Then we also need a line for deleting each one of these. Probably should call this as a separate method, shouldn't I? The delete. We won't yet, but we're going to eventually, probably. We want selected equals true. Okay. So what that's doing is it's selecting the block and then deleting it in Blender. Because we copy all those up at Z500, then make clones of them down below for our actual geometry in the Blender file, then delete all the originals so that they're not there up from 500, and then select everything that's left, join all those unique objects as one object with these two commands here. So without this, those blocks up at 500 would be part of the end model. That's why we want to delete them. So save those. We need to then look down through the process pieces. So we got cobblestone wall. We need to look at these block name pieces, right? And we need to say, so we're checking for a slab, we're checking for stairs, we need to check for cobblestone wall. L if it's in cobblestone wall in block name. Create wall. And then we're gonna just do the same type of deal here. Okay. And we need to find create stairs or something and just do the same for create wall. So there's create stairs. We're gonna name this one create walls. Okay, and instead of stairs, this is what we're copying. We need to pick the correct wall type. So instead of the shape, we need the north, south, east, and west variables set. So let's capture those in our process properties. Where's that at? So here's process properties. We need one that goes through and gets the values here. We're probably going to do this one directly in line instead of just separate methods. So L if key equals east. Then we're going to set another variable that says east to false or true, right? East equals value. Shift tab. Yes. Awesome. So west. Wait. Let's do north first. NORTH. North. South. Sorry, I kind of want to keep it north, east, southwest, just like clockwise around the compass, right? Northeast, south, south. Find it easier to not miss them that way. You work with cardinal directions a lot. Okay. Then we need to say probably global at the top of this. Global north. Global south. Global east. Global west. That way it tells Python from, so I'm fairly new to Python, but my understanding is it tells it to use the global version of the variable. So we need to get each one of those defined as a variable up above. I just like to initialize them right at the top of everything, just so that we've got something set and we know it's a variable somewhere with a default value. Okay. Yeah. I have about a week's worth of experience with it under my belt doing this. We need a spot where we reset those back to basically blanks so that they're not always set to the last block we looked at. So in our process block section, I think we're resetting all those variables somewhere. Yeah, we're setting our shape to nothing. Let's set those to nothing, or a zero length string. So we're creating the wall, we're processing the block, we're getting our northeast, southwest variable set. And from that, in our create wall, we know what we need to spawn in. So I can get rid of these other shapes checks. Like that. And we can say if east equals true. So we need to create all the 16 different combinations here, right? I don't know if there's any way around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick which of those 6 models and then also rotate. Yeah. So let's start with the word north then. North was true, and east equals true, and south equals true, and west equals true. Okay. So that's going to be one of them, but I want to start with the falses probably first. False. Okay. And then let's just do one at a time. So true for the north. True for that. True for that. Dive. True for that. So everything's false. True, true, false, false. True, 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 false. True, 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 true. I wanted to look this way when I'm done, but I know it's going to be easier if I basically count in binary. So everything's false except for the first one. So that'd be like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Right? And then the next number in binary is going to be true here and false in the end. True. False. Right? And then the next one after that's going to be true, true. And the next one after that, it's going to be true in the third and false in the ends. And then true here. Then all three true. And then the fourth is true and all the rest are false. This one's true again. True. Oop. True and then false. True, true. Dang it. True. False, false. True, true. And then the last one's true. Then we switch the last two. And then all four are true. Is that 16 lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Really? True, false, false. True, false, true. True, true, true. Then this becomes true. That. 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 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What am I missing? Everything's 0, 1. Programmer. 1 plus 1. Oh, yeah, so it's... So our third one should be true in the last two. Wait, no, so our fourth one, because it's 0. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 3. Plus 1. Equals 100, which would be this. Plus 1 equals 5. 0, 1, 0. That's what we've got. Right there. False. And then all three true. That gives me my 16. Okay. So now we need to take this portion, but modify it. So if all of them are false, we're looking at wall instead of inner stairs, because that was the solo piece by itself. And rotation amount does not matter. So we will set it to 0. Rotation amount equals 0. Right? And then the rest of it should just come through and work at that point. We'll also need an else statement in here, but we'll do the same thing as this. We'll just create a default stair in that case. Okay, so we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this, right? Yeah. And then where copy stairs is not right, we'll say copy wall. Just change the variable name in here for sanity's sake. So later when I'm looking at this, I realize this is for the wall. Process the materials for the wall. Yep. We don't need this offset half amount because walls can't be on the top half of a block. Location X makes sense. Half rotation. Rotate half. We'll set that to 0. We'll never rotate our half. So these 3 lines of code need to be in all of these. It's just a matter of which shape we pick then and rotation we put on it. So that one's set in stone. We don't need to change that one at all. Now we've got one where the west is true. So only one side is true. So we want our wall in, or north. What do we name the thing? Jeez. Wall in, okay. Wall in, that's what we want to use because that's only one-sided. And if it's to the west, then we need to rotate 90 degrees. Which is the 1.5 radian number, 1.5708. But we probably want to rotate that negative amount. Let's do this. Let's get all of these in here for the singles. That's a single. That's not a single, not a single. Not a single. Single. So that should be the 4 singles. Let's save this. Let's trigger a scan then. So it fires off and builds the walls, and it airs off. Okay, so let's do it this way. Launch Blender. Select everything, delete it all. We got a blank file. We can go to scripting mode. We can open our... Okay, let's open that specific file. Blank. Now we can go to scripting mode. I opened, it's going to be in the right folder. That's why I opened the Blender file. If we do that, it's not going to get the walls. So, what was it called? Wall test. Let's run script, and it's on line 57. Inconsistent use of tabs and spaces and indentation. Okay. 57, huh? It does have an extra thing there, right? Are you serious? It's literally just one has spaces, the other one has tabs. Can I just select all of you and tab you, please? There we go. I did not realize it was that picky. Oh, and that's not gonna correct this, so we gotta close it and open it again. Line 73 does not match other indentation. Really? Wow. Maybe using this Notepad++ is not a good thing then. Didn't have it before when I was doing it all in Blender. 140. No, not this code. So long ago, I used to program in COBOL for my job. And that language would make you want to pull your hair out as far as tabs and spacing and all that. Not only did it have to be indented and all that, but it had to be indented at a specific exact column. One space would throw it off. I'm not sure I could program in COBOL anymore if I wanted to. With YAML, yeah. There's lots of things that seem to want to do that. I don't get, like, from being able to process the file, it's probably easy. That's why they do it, but it's a pain to type it. It should make it easy for the user, not the program. Oh, I missed a space there. Or I had an extra space there. Well, 5:30 now. 5:30. The funny thing is, it's not actually any errors in my code. It's just I tabbed things wrong. Not knowing that it was different. Okay, so now we're on to a real error finally. 644. Yeah, 644. There might be. I would be half afraid to... Oh, this is fine. So this is because I'm not running it from the command line. So now let's change the file we're processing, please, to be the stair one, or the test file that we had. What do we call it again? Wall test. So delete everything because it expects an empty file. Unscript. There we go. We're getting some walls. They're not the right walls, but they're walls. So I wanted to make sure. Errors at 644, which should be the saving of the whole file out to a name, which we didn't pass it a name. Cool. So that tells me it's like not of value, probably. Save file's not defined. Oh. So if I just... Oh, awesome. Can I get rid of that error altogether then? Very end. Grab this. Copy it. And I just define it up here as something. Like that. And then if it never gets set... So let's close this. Open it again. Delete everything. Boom. Unscript. No error. Awesome. Now we just need to make sure it actually saves when I run it from Blender. So what that was for is I'm passing from Minecraft. I'm launching Blender, telling it the Python file, telling it the blank file to load, and then passing in, here's my scan file I want you to process, and save it as that name as well in a different folder. All on the command line to Blender. So that wasn't getting set because we weren't running it from the command line. We opened this Blender file manually, but we use this default value in here in that case, so there was no save file basically, and yeah. I think we need to just continue marching on forward here. We've got walls being spawned in. Let's do it from Minecraft here, now that it won't error off on us. We don't have any singular direction walls in this, right? We must have scanned this iron bar. In fact, let's take a look. So if I just do linked on this and go over here to my materials and say iron bars, select, yeah, so it's an iron bar. I'm using the block names from Minecraft as the material names in Blender so that I can set them in Unity later to be what I want them to look like. So we need to get a different setup going as far as what we're scanning in here. We easily find them names like that. Yes, and when you're in Unity and you look at a Blender file, once it imports it, Unity has some nice functionality built into it for working with Blender files. So if I take this Blender file, for example, and look at the Materials tab, there's this on-demand remapping. Let's get one that's from this scanner thing. So you can see I've got Purple Stairs as my block that I used in Minecraft. I can remap that to a different material in Unity. And one of these I did it on. I don't remember which one though. I can't find it. One of them I did it on and basically made glass. Yeah, this. A glassy type texture for it. Is this? So if you look at this in Unity, if I focus, you zoom in, it's kind of see-through, right? Because it's glass. So I can make it be whatever I want it to be. Now, doing glass, there's an issue. So all of these have interior geometry because I'm making an entire cube. So I'll have to clean them up if I want to do something like glass, or if I want to make a final product for my game, right? I don't want all those interior faces because they'll do nothing other than slow down. Okay, so we've got that one as a template. We're gonna need one to the north. Let's see which way is north here. Facing south to the north. Let's do this. And then we'll want one facing that way. And then one facing that way. And one to the south. Okay. Give me my hotbar. Wrong buttons. Good. To that, we'll scan from there to there. I'm going to say scan wall test. Oh, it's going to load up Blender Force. Okay. Okay, we've got the shape down, right? Now we just need to tell it to scan or to load not the north or the solo file, but the wall in version. Which it should have for that. Wait a second. None of those were wall north. We look at this. What's our directions? East, north, south. That was just a south. This is just a north. We got up, but we're ignoring up. Okay. Print north. North, east, south, west. Save. Don't care about the block name really. We're just gonna print all 4 of those right here. We're gonna get rid of this. I think this Blender is tied to this console still. Nope. Let's start Blender from there so we get a console output. Load up our file. Go to scripting mode. Open this. Wall. Test. Run. We are getting values. So is full block was false. Then north, east was true. East was true. Everything else was. So it must have been the bottom block then. Yeah, east was true. So that block said east was true. Was the first one that we processed. Let's focus on that one. So east is true is this column. This is the first one. We should have got wall copy, or wall north, and copied it with 0 rotation. Okay, let's look at our blocks blend. Wall north is this shape, and it is oblong, right? It's not a square. But what we've got in our scene is a square shape. Okay, so let's go and do like a debugging type scenario. Even more so, where are you? What did I do with cleanup? Let's not do the join for now. Save. So these remain separate objects. Don't know it's going to help us much though. Let's also... Wait, let's not do this at all post cleanup. That's what I want to do. Okay, so let's delete this. Open new wall test. Run script. And we get an error. Now what? Didn't delete everything, that's why. Okay, so now we should have all of those templates in here as well, because I didn't delete them. We can see wall north up here. If we focus on that particular block, it is that shape. Why didn't it copy that shape? What? And let's do it over here if you don't want to cooperate. Wall north. Only in cleanup. We're copying. Ah, okay, okay, I've got it. So we're testing for all of these in one if statement. It'll do this. Then we're testing for all of these in a separate if statement, not a else if. And if you keep continuing that down here, this one gets tested, else it does wall. So because this one is not part of this one, and so on, it's never going to check them all. So we need to change these from ifs to else ifs. And that'll fix it. So we only want to get one of these. We don't want to test for all of them and let them overwrite each other, basically is what I'm saying. Because that last else overrid everything above when this wasn't true. Yep. I'm 99% sure that's exactly what it was. So let's get rid of you again. Doing this. Close you, open you. Oop, oh, oh. Here we go. Delete everything. Run the script and focus on something down below. That's the wrong file. Awesome. Wall test. There we go. It's working. The only thing that's not working about it is the rotations. So we know this one was east, and it needs to be rotated -90 along the Z. Yeah. So east needs to be rotated -90. Which is the one that we rotated. No, we didn't rotate it. Okay. So east equals true. -1.5708. And this is to the west, so it was off 180, so we actually go positive with that one. Okay. Let's delete this. Reopen our script. Run it. Dang it. They're facing away from each other. Didn't open the script file new. Oh, that's tiresome. Okay, let's do it this way. Wow, we didn't know if the script's running. Let's let Blender do its thing. My magic. There we go. Now they're touching each other. Okay, so that was east and west are taken care of. Then we've got south and north, and those appear to be correct. Oh gosh. I think this one's correct, but this one is not. So north needs to be rotated. South must already be rotated. So where's south? South, true, is correct at 0 rotation. So north, being true, needs 180-degree rotation from where it's at now. Right. So it doesn't matter which direction, but we need 2 radians basically, which is not defined in here, so we're going to just do it this way. That was north. So let's close this. Got this saved. We run the command in Minecraft, and those two should connect, hopefully. They do. Right, and that takes care of all of them, because we've essentially said both parts when we're doing each of the testing. So all of our singles are working now. Cool. Okay, so now we need to modify the singles into what, doubles? So we've got our solo block is fine. We've got 4 of the different single directions. Now we need to do my next line down on my piece of paper, which is going to be like that, right? So that would be 1. That would be 1. This would be 1. And then the final one would be like this shape. Video. Right? So like clocks going around. Okay, we can close this one out. This is the new one. Notice that some of them are almost working because those are our singles for each one of them. It's this connector in the middle that we need to get sorted out. Okay, so those doubles. It's going to be which shape? I don't know if we've got the shape file open, so we do. It's going to be a northeast is the name. So nothing there. This one is done. This one is done. This is our first one. I'm going to change this to those. So we got 2. So that's 2. This highlighting's nice. Let me visually see where they're at, because I was having trouble determining if it's true or false on each one of these visually quickly. Not true. That's a double. Okay. So doubles, doubles. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How does that work? Oh, it's a triple. Okay, didn't see the extra true there. Okay. So that should get us our shape. Then we need to add in rotations. Let's close this, run it again, so that we get which one is incorrect. So one of them's gonna be right? It's just one of them's naturally gonna be in the right orientation. Ooh, didn't like it. Let's go back to our code. Okay, I see why. We want to change that to a lowercase w. It's uppercase in Blender, lowercase in my code. Cool. Save. Run. So that one's wrong. That one didn't kick the right block. That's our second from the top. That is east and south. Should have been this one, not this one. This is why I was like, do I really want to work with the rotations and this many variations of the blocks? Blah, blah, blah. Then it would be a lot of testing. Okay, you look good. Why didn't you connect, though? We broke something there. That is to the north. We broke north, really? Fall in. So you'll be good. You are which one? You are the basis of everything. You are east and south. So that means south and west would need a 90 degree. North and west would need a 180. And north and east would need a negative 90 or 270. Depending on which negative or positive is clockwise or negative clockwise. Anti-clockwise. Counterclockwise. So there are trues up here. This one's good. Oh, wait, it's not good. South and east. This one's good. This one needs south and west. Needs the 90. Is 1.5708. Save. Okay. Two trues, south and east, south and west. East and west. That's what was tripping me up. East and west. That's a straight line one. because they're opposite directions, right? They're not a corner piece. So that's my like fourth type on here. Fifth type on here. East and south, we're good. South and north is a straight line. It shouldn't be this type at all. North and west should be the 180. Which this one's going to work no matter what, because it doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise when it's 180. Then north and east is my final one, and that needs to be -90, I think. 1.5078. That's Unity. Thought it was Blender. Scan. Work, please. Well, that's not a right number.
Something didn't rotate the right amount.
0.7. This is, so that's this one. So that should be positive. Then our other double direction one should be the other direction because it was off as well. So that was south. Wait, what was that? Northeast. So our southwest needs to be negative. Right, because this one was off as well. Ta-da! Okay, let's do 3 now. Which becomes harder because we need more space. Stops taking screenshots, please. So let's start this one here. There. There we go. And like that. And we'll put another block down here. We'll just make the scan area bigger. That's all of the directions, right? Yep. I prematurely did that command, but that's fine. We got the file saved, that's what the important part is. Okay. So that middle one is Fubard. What is this one? The one for which direction? North, southwest. North, south, west. And instead we should be using the file here. North, south, east, NSE. NES. NES. And this one has 3, so it should be here as well. This one has 3. One, 2, 3. There's your other one. Okay, save that. Let's close these extra Blender files open. Okay, so that one's fine. That's our center point, right? This one needs rotated -90. Positive, I'm not sure which. Positive 90. Yeah. That is this file. East, north, south. East, north, south. So plus 1.5708. Okay. And if that one goes that direction, this one needs to go the other direction, -90. And that is this one. -90 for north, south, west. North, southwest should be -90, so -1.5708. Take care of that one, and then we've got this one, which needs to go probably Z180. Yep, 180. And that is the last one in our whole setup here, which is east, north, west. North, east, west. East, west. This one. Plus, equals 1.5708 plus 1.5708 to get to 180. Close, yes. Scan. Don't touch anything, don't need alt tab, I keep forgetting that. There we go. It's like we're building Tetris blocks or something. Okay, so that's those. Then we need the cross, which is just going to be really all of these then, right? Let's just scan like this. There should only be one orientation of the cross. So we've got this line taken care of. We've got this line taken care of. We are taking care of this line now. That leaves us with the bottom line, which is our north-south and east-west orientations. So let's grab this one. So this line we're working on now is all four. And we just look for the one that's all four true, and that's going to be called what in Blender? Probably north, south, east, west, northeast, southwest. So that was this one. So this without the uppercase W. Save. Close the extra Blender windows, please. Run the scan again. Take a drink because I can barely talk. There we go. Next we need that. Oops. That's for the middle piece there. And this. Okay, and those are going to be named north-south. And it's going to be where there's two, but it's going to be like the north and south only. Or east and west. So east and west is one of them. And north and south is the other, this one. Okay, save. Scan. Okay, so the bottom one's the one that's correct, and that is our north-south. So I actually named that file right. Wow, okay. And that means our east-west needs to be set here to rotate 180, so 1.5708 plus 1.5708. Save. Let's start closing out all of the Blender files now. Save our script, run the command. Stop hitting Alt Tab. Oh, it didn't rotate. Why? East, west. I don't know. Let's save again. Maybe I didn't save it. It still didn't do it. How in the world? We're saying rotate 180 degrees because this is 90, this is 90. Anybody out there see what I did wrong? East, west. We're spawning in north, south, and we're rotating it. Oh, duh. It shouldn't be 180, it should be 90. So if you rotate a straight wall 180, it looks the same. It did what I told it to do. Wow. There we go. So now, do we have every type of wall working? I want to do like another test with every type of wall we can think of, right? And some fun stuff that I haven't tried, right? So let's get our markers out of here. Let's get the marker over here. We've got a four-way, right? We've got straights in the various different directions. So we've got our bottom here. We've got this here. We've got some, we need some threes. The reason I want to do this is I want to make sure that I didn't accidentally change the wrong line somewhere. Alright, so there's our three there. We need a three like that, and a three like that. Okay. So that takes care of that whole line. Then we need the twos again. That orientation, that. Let's move down one. Okay, that takes care of those. Then we've got these singles by themselves, so like this. And I agree with you on the north, or the circle without a center, right? Just test everything we can think of. Single post, right? So I'm gonna do the post right there. And then like that. Let's just do a bunch of straight ones. Some stacked on top of each other with some various different craziness off of that. Diagonals. All that stuff's good. Scan from there to there. Let's make sure I got the right block. Scan wall test. See what we get. It's gonna take a little longer to process that bigger area, but it shouldn't be too bad. Or it's gonna lock up. I don't know. Shouldn't have took that long. No, we didn't grab those upper blocks either, did we? Like I placed some on top of each other. Oops. Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Hi. That mic mute completely failed. I hit the wrong mic mute button. That's better. I can do it again. What's going on? So let's look at this. Talking about a 15 by 1 by 23 area. So 15 times 23. It's only processing 350 blocks. That's not much. Oh, it did it. Just impatient. So let's focus on that and go above. There's our circle. Funny shapes there. Those are all right. We did not get something here? Or we only did 3 of those? No, we did 4. And that explains why I didn't grab the other block. Something happened during the load. Let's try again. Wonder what though? Because it didn't give me any error message. Although it may not have. Yes. Lots of air blocks, right? Not seeing any special characters so far. Not that there should be any though. Blender's definitely doing something funky though. Okay, so what we'll do is let's CLS. Let's kill this Blender session. Close. Let's do another Blender here so that we can get a console output of what's going on. Going to open blank, go to scripting, load our script file, and run once we give it the wall test name. And it worked. It worked, and it worked very quickly. There's no errors. It's interesting. So all the shapes are working in every direction, I think. Yeah, because we have the single. There's our doubles in every direction. We don't have the ups tested because I neglected to scan the right area. Let's go and close this one. Maybe it's screwing with it somehow. Let's close. We can close this. Okay. Scan from there to there. Test. Yeah, it's dying mid load. Why? Okay, I need to do a quick Google search, I guess, and see if there's any way we can get the output from that, because it's running fine in the script, but not from the command line. So, Google Blender output Python console to file, so I can log it maybe. Where does my Blender Python output go to when I start Blender? The script in Windows. Yes, that's what I wanted to know. Git bash is a different. What? Yeah, it's fine. To get more immediate win pity? What? No, I want to use regular commands. -con. Let's try that. So Blender command line arguments. Spell it right, please, for me. Nope, I want the regular command line arguments, please. So, con. Start with console window open. Really, is it that simple? Because I'd be making change to my mod in 2 seconds to get something like that working. So where's our command that we're building out? So here is what we're compiling together. So after Blender, we need to insert that. So Blender scan file, Blender Python file. So before the word Blender or Python, so we're just gonna put like right there. See if that works. I really hope this works because I've been wanting a console output from this for a while. I don't see a new console window. Start with console window open. Windows only. Ignored if /-b is set. What is -b? Oh, probably the background. Yeah, it runs the background. Come on. Why is it hanging? I don't get it. There's no extra looping we're doing in this most recent version of this thing. Why? I need debug information, please. Okay, so let's kill that version of Blender. Let's scan a small area, I guess. Scan that to, I don't know, there. Scan wall test. Just like the sheer size of the file. Interesting. There's no console, by the way. Well, if we look at scripting. Yeah, there's no console. Back to default. Pull this down. Yeah, there's nothing. Maybe because I'm using the double dashed version of all these, I don't know how their command lines work. Maybe I need to put that on there instead of con. I'm using -- Python, so maybe it's something like that. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. No console. Blender, boom, boom, not working. The only way to see the Blender console and thus the script's output is to launch Blender from a terminal using the full. Right, but all scripts output will appear in terminal. Yes, I get that, but I don't have a terminal window. How do you launch it? I'm also not on a Mac. Command line, force console output window to show up automatically when Blender starts. Your comments, I suppose this is about Windows. Okay, one easy way to achieve this is create a batch file with the content simply come up behind, simply path to your Blender install like this. Could I do that? Starts to get more tricky. So that's what it says here too. Patched con. Okay. You can do so by modifying the properties of your Blender file, depending con in the target box. Console window stays open though. Because we're not creating one, it's probably never getting one. The batch file is probably our best bet. This type of suggestion. Ugly as all get out, but it would work. Also forces us into a pure Windows environment then, I guess. But I guess that's fine. So let's start work on the batch file, because I'm going to drive myself insane without it. Where's our Blender Python file? It is in here. So let's create the same batch file in here. So new text file. We'll say start blender console.bat. Yes. And this is basically going to just run Blender by just doing all of the commands that it's passed to it. 1, set 2, set 3. Set 3. I think that's how you do it in batch files. I don't know how many we got. We'll pass a bunch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Save. Okay, and then and here, and here, and here. We will change this default setting from that, which did nothing for us, to be the location of this batch file. It should, yeah. So if I do it from a command line like this, it outputs everything into here. So I need this path plus this. So we're going to do that as our path. And this variable just got very long. So we're going to run a batch file. That batch file is going to execute Blender, right? And that's all part of this portion, which if we go back, that portion then also gets appended with -- Python, the name of the Python file, -- with nothing else after it, the scan file folder, the file name we saved to, a comma, the Blender file save that we're going to save to. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. Why does that not say this? Oh my gosh, did we just... I know what happened. Why it didn't work. We were changing it on this line, which was just the debug line, because I thought I changed it to that long ago. It was right here. We need this to say -con and get rid of the batch file, I bet. Cool beans. Where's my stupid command I just pasted in? So it's this we wanted to do. Save. So now that I've got the right line, did it open a console window? No. Did it do something up here? Come on. No. Go to the scripting? No. Okay. Back to the batch file method. And Redo typing. So we need to kill Minecraft for that change. And I need to delete the config file for Minecraft as well. I don't have that open at all. So let's find a window for that to do. Oh, my D drive. Oops. D drive, D drive, D drive. All code. Minecraft. This mod's name, which is MC to Blender. Run. Config. Delete you. Let's close this and run you again. Let's also kill the Blender session we've already got going. I hope at least you guys get to see him. Yeah, you do. Ooh, how long have I been going? 2 hours? Might need to take a break soon. Okay, so scan from, say, here to there, please. Scan, wall, test. And nothing started. Okay. So let's take a look as to why in Java. Cannot run program. D blah blah blah. Argument has embedded quotes. Use the explicit command.exe call. Okay. So we got to run a command prompt to do a batch file to do Blender. How much fun is that? Unfortunately, the way I've got things set up, I need to delete my config and then run the game again. Gotta wait for it to load. So the command prompt part is the cmd.exe. I already had that in there, and Blender was just happily ignoring that. It was saying, nope, I'm not gonna start from you. It just started on its own. So whatever. Like this command line is going to be so long it's going to give an error or something. Because it's got this file, absolute path. This file, absolute path to Blender. And a blank blend file, absolute path. Scan folder location, save folder location, Python folder. All that gets concatenated together into one line and executed. Along with some other things that aren't in here. Okay, so right click, shift right click, scan, wall, test. Oh, it says it's about to execute something. It didn't do doodly though. Let's take a look to see what all that command line was. Paste it into something we can read a little easier. Yeah, let's use Notepad. Okay, so command.exe. Can you put the whole big command in a batch file? Pass all arguments as needed. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Ah, it's still got con in there. That could be it. Okay, so let's break this down. So the command.exe should call the batch file. The batch file is then saying, just execute all of my parameters that were given to me, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's enough in there. This should run Blender. This should open the blank.blend file. This was incorrect, we noticed, because it was like that. So that might have screwed with opening the blank.blend file and crashed the whole thing. Then it's telling it to run the Python file, which is named that. This is an argument that I'm using inside. Basically, Blender ignores anything after a double dash with nothing after it. So these two pieces are getting ignored, but they get passed to the Python script. The Python script is taking those two lines, taking the first part as the file it should try and process, the file we're writing out from Minecraft. And the second file is the file that we should save this Blender file as once we're done processing it. I would love this thing to have, like, and maybe that's what I need to do, a third option in here, like this, that's like D log file name, right? Something like that. And that's where it just writes everything out to, instead of doing prints. But the issue is, like, Python's error messages, when those occur, are not going to go into there. So, unless I do proper error handling in Python, I guess. So let's fix this con section. That could be what's screwing it up. It's going to be over here. This, I didn't put a space there when we tested it that one time. I did not get a Blender file. Nothing opened up. Okay, so let's get rid of that dash con altogether because it's not needed apparently. Save. Do this. Like, I don't even see anything execute at all on my system. It's not even an instantaneous close of the batch file, right? Let's take a look at the batch file again. Let's add something to it that will help me troubleshoot. So I'll edit, pause. Exactly, pause. Yeah. That way we know if it's even running, right? I don't see it. There is no additional windows that opened up on my screen. So our batch file is not even getting ran. Okay. Let's do this from the run prompt here in Windows. We're gonna do cmd dot and then the batch file name. That does run the command window, but it does not add. We need /c in there, don't we? Run. What do you say? Pause, echo, and go to the only things I remember from batch files. Oh, I've used batch files within the last 2 months at work. Okay, now we're executing the batch file actually. So we needed that /c in there. So cmd, am I getting the right slash direction? Cmd / ? Yeah, okay, it's the right direction. Carries out the command specified by the string and then terminates. So we want /k, so it keeps running. Whoop. Let's run that from the command line. Zero is not recognized as an internal or external command. Oh, I get it. It's trying to tell us how to fix it. Don't save. Oh no. Oh, because we don't have any arguments. So let's just say. So come on. Paste you in. And then let's say notepad.exe. No. So pasted in a 0 and 1 with the same name over again. Okay. Got a batch file code wrong. Windows batch file arguments. What? Yeah, present 1, 2, and 3. The arguments can be called in the batch file through variables %1, %2, %3, and so on. The following example shows batch file which accepts 3 command line arguments and echoes them to the command line screen. Echo off, echo 1, 2, and 3. So we type that, and it will give this as the output. Yeah. Apparently you need to know the number of arguments. That sucks. I mean, we'll know, unless I start changing it again. I think we said 7, wasn't it? Let's save that. Let's kill Minecraft. Let's get rid of our config file, delete you, save, run you. Oh, come on, start up Minecraft. I've sent me a message. Is okay, scan from there to there, /scan, wall test. Oh. Okay, we got Blender to run. That is not it. We got Blender to run from the command line from a batch file. U to U. It does not even flash the batch file on the screen. cmd.exe/? Carries out the command specified but remains /k. That's what we did with /k. We even have a pause statement in that stinking batch file. Yeah. Paste. Okay, so we'll fix the reading stuff. Cannot read from because it's got -python in there. Okay, so we got too many spaces gone. Scan thingy. Too many windows. Close all others. Yeah, we took that space out of there. Okay, so that was that issue. Let's kill this again. Boop. Boop. Okay, so now with that's fixed, can we do scan while test? It doesn't start the batch file. What in the world? Dash con space. Just gonna try it one more time because I think I screwed it up the one time. No console window. Why is Blender letting that thing close? I'm assuming if I did like Notepad, it would work. It's like instead of running Blender, we just fired off Notepad with the batch file. I could take these commands and put them directly in the batch file. Like this piece is okay to put in the batch file. Right, and then we'll just take 1, 2, and 3. 3, 4, 5 from the command line. For the rest of the arguments. Oh, we'll have to get rid of all the extra slashes, won't we? Sorry, I didn't get that before, if that's what you meant. I was thinking you meant everything, not just part of it. Because there are parts that change that I need to pass in from Java. Go. Starting to not like it as much, but I need that debugging capability. So I would like to have been able to set all the settings right directly in my script. Or my Minecraft mods. So my Minecraft mods config file, because that way it's very straightforward. You go and set everything in there. Don't change any code. Now you have to go change a batch file if your Blender installs in a different location or anything else. But all well. Let's see what wife said back to me here while this loads. Okay, run Blender for me, please. Or at least the batch file. Oh, we gotta boop, boop, scan, wall test. It ran, it had to have ran the batch file. Because how else would it start Blender and open the specific blank file that we wanted? See, blank.blend. But the batch file closed. Okay. But we have a pause statement in the batch file. What's the comments for batch files? I don't remember. We'll just copy to another file for temporary use. So weird, man. So weird. Notepad.exe. Save. I shouldn't have to recompile Minecraft at all or anything. It opens Notepad, but there's no batch file. It's something to do with the way that Java opens batch files through command.exe. It's a Java thing. It's got to be a Java thing. That's probably Java open batch shell a batch file. How to run Java application by batch. No, I want to do the other way around. A secure way to run a batch file from a Java program. Okay. Since run.exe and process builder trigger command injection vulnerability in static analyzing tools, is there any other way recommended secure way to execute a batch file from Java program? Yes, there are secure ways. That's bash. That's freaking not a batch file at all. That's basically what we're doing. Whoa, okay. There's a lot of answers on this one. What's the question even? Which application I want to run the batch file that calls something blah blah blah. It seems I can't even get my batch file to execute. I'm out of ideas. Okay, previously. Batch files are not executables. They need an application to run them, i.e. cmd.exe. On Unix, we're not on Unix. The script file is set bang, shebang. We could do start. I think start is a special cmd .exe. Oh, help. Question mark. Where is start in here? cmd .exe start. Yeah, it starts up another one. cmd.exe / t baba. It still works. Okay. .exe. Note if there are multiple commands separated by commas, or command separators, okay, are accepted for strings around quotes. For example, also for compatibility, okay, accuracy, then the remainder of the command line after the switch is processed as the command line, where the following logic is used to process a double quote. Go back, click that link again. Let me get this part. The executable to use to run batch scripts is what you choose to specify flag. Specify the name of the batch file to run. Okay. Theoretically, you should be able to run scons in the manager. I haven't used it before. Everybody's using them as an array of strings. Maybe it's the way I'm passing it. So in my command, I'm doing it. Where is it? I'm just executing that single string. I'm getting kind of desperate at this, so let's do this. gonna comment that out. We're going to run not shell command like we have it there, but we're gonna do a list of arrays. Wife's asking me if I want something for lunch. She's gonna go get some. Okay. So we need to say cmd.exe, another one that'll be new string, new string array, and then /k, right? So we can use that keep open thing. And then whatever our batch file name is, which we've got in this right here right now. We're going /happy. Eclipse must have recognized that there were slashes and tried to escape them. But they already were escaped. I want the stupid console window. What the frick? Is it an option on the batch file that when this is ran, you stay open? Because look, it's open in the background there. What? Should it be /c? Let's try that. Make sure it's not that. No! The heck? What if we don't run this at all? Like, there's no command to run. Just run cmd.exe. Will you start that, please? Pretty please? No? It can't run a console. Why? It's executing it like it's doing the commands from the console, but it's not keeping the console process running. Okay, let's start again. Java start cmd.exe. Yeah. That is another, like, if we can get that -con command to work, or argument to work, then I would be happy. Can we open a command prompt using Java program? Is this an answer? Okay. You can use runtime to open command line using Java. For example, when making my project, I wanted to open CMD from my program and execute the command inputted. Okay. That's how I did it. So RT runtime, yeah, give runtime. RT.command. Or you can use process builder class, process builder. Okay. Oh, do we need to specify the whole path? I'll try it, because I'm super not sure about this stuff at this point. It is sketchy. Nope. It even gave me an error. Because of the extra dot. I'm not even trying to run the batch file anymore. I'm just trying to run the stupid console. Nothing. It kills it. Okay, let's try this. As another argument then, /k to keep the thing open. No. No. What's our batch file name? I forget. Okay, it's not even running now. Is it? Give me errors on the console. Let's clear the console. Yeah, it's giving me errors. Okay, so something I can work with. Trying to run program c.exe. Can I find the specified file? Oh. Helps if it's typed right, huh? Okay, it started the batch file. Now if we do just that, does it start it? No errors, no console window whatsoever. Yeah, it sounds right based on what we've seen so far, right? Start. Windows start command. Start 16-bit Windows program in shared memory space. Could we use something like that? So start note pad.exe. Can we use start instead of CMD? Hey, it gives us error message. And find the specified process. So let's give it the path where start. What? You telling me start's not actually great? It's an option for. So if I just do this, let's see, what's our command? Pull up our command here and go for Blender. .exe. If I just start this from the... Yeah, but I'm not gonna mid-project install Linux, right, man? I get what you're going for. I've got plenty of Linux systems, but not gonna do it here. I want it to work on Windows too. Okay, now if I started it that way, it starts the process in the background, but then the lock closes it out. So if I do run again, don't you change on me. Run con. It closed it out. No, it kept it open. It kept it open. Yeah. I'll do it on stream. That won't cause me any problems. Here's my Linux machine. Oh. Ouch. You're making recommendations for things you didn't even like. What? Okay, so we got a console, right? To start with Blender. It's probably not a system console, but we got a console to start. So we need to figure out what other command in here is stopping the console from actually working. So let's take this back 600 steps through its history, back to what it was originally, before we added the batch file. Yeah, I bet Unity is broken on Linux. So there's the command to get Blender going. Right there. Oh, we do need to slash like that. Yeah. So that's what this is. It's my gaming server, basically. I have Minecraft running on there. We do various other games on there. And if something needs Windows, I actually do it through a virtual machine on Linux with a Windows host. Or Windows VM, Linux host. Okay, so this should run Blender. Do we need the con immediately following the Blender name? Let's do -con like that. Oh, wait, so it'd be here. -con space. Then the Blender file. Get rid of it here. And we need to close Minecraft. Our batch file is basically useless at this point because it's only running Notepad anyway. Delete. We need to delete the config file for Minecraft. Goes back to default values then. Goodness. I would use Linux, but I always have problems with the GPU drivers. Yeah, that's why I do 100% headless. Like, there's no monitor on that Linux machine. I always use PuTTY remote connect into it. If I need to see anything, then I use, which is very, very rare, I use VNC. Or that virtual machine, I use remote desktop into it that way. It runs Windows. Do you know what would choose a game to crash the display driver? Hard to say, man. Scan wall test. And we get nothing working because it gave us an error message. Can't run C program. Okay, didn't like my quotes around something. I've used the default open source ones, and I've also used the closed source ones from NVIDIA. Yeah. That might be his problem. Are you using AMD card? I've heard NVIDIA's better, not perfect, better on Linux than AMD. It's like it ignored my quote encapsulation portion to run the command. AMD card, yeah. AMD drivers just aren't as good on Linux, I guess. I might need to take a break just for my ears. I'm getting crushed by these headphones. Ow. Oh, it crashes in Windows? Oh. I thought you were saying it was crashing in Linux. Oh, location one, that's set. Boom. Boom. No Blender. That's how I originally had it, was command.exe running Blender with all this extra junk behind it. Yep. Yeah, terminated. I want to ensure that that con is part of what gets ran to Blender directly. Okay, let's run again. Should we make this our last try, guys? And then take a break? Come back to it after I've had some time to think about it. Maybe get some lunch in me. I'm inclined to do so. Chili sounds good. Yeah. Often I will walk away from a problem and it stops my train of thought that's the wrong train of thought and resets it, and I go a different direction with it, and I will solve it in like 2 minutes. All test. Cool, we've broken it completely now. It is not working, so let's take a look at that specific file in my Git, because I would like this to at least do what it was doing before, which is right here. What is different? The con piece is different. My dog is barking. The con part is the only thing that's different. Okay, and then in here we've set this differently, right? So we're now... No, we haven't. It's exactly the same. It was executing the same command. Dang. So that con piece is the only thing that's different. How would that make a difference? Well, let's revert. Discard changes. Discard changes. Okay, and then go into our Java file. The con's gone. Yep, I've updated. I want to make sure it does run the way it was before, and then we'll start fresh after a break. So, if you haven't already followed on Discord, that's the best way to know when I'm going to stream, other than following on Twitch. Plus, we just talk about stuff offline anyway. Come on. And that's what Nightbot's for. To nag everyone about joining Discord. Okay. It did not work. I've reverted the code back to what it was in GitHub. Or Git desktop, I guess. I don't have GitHub actually hooked up. Wall test. And I just want to make sure it actually starts Blender. It does not, because I didn't clear the config file. I just want to make sure I can get it working to where it was when I started the day, right? As far as loading up the Blender file. I'm afraid if I walk away from the problem, I will forget how to revert it back to how it was working. So let's get it working, and then I will sit and think as to how we can force Blender to have a console, or even to force it to output to some text file would work, right? I would be fine if it gave me a log. Scan wall test. Whew. I didn't think it was going to work. Okay, good. What in the world? Let's just force a save on this file. Those should not look like that, right? Those are walls that are connected and should be connected. It's just spawning regular walls. I discarded the changes from MC to Blender. Which was my mod, and the mod doesn't have the code for that Blender Python file. That's here. Oh no. Scan while test 2. I want to make sure it's not like... Gotta be kidding me. Well, maybe that's part of our overall problem with it, right? Because we started doing this to figure out what the issue was. Alright, so let's open the Python file. File open recent blank. Gotta go for now. Been an entertaining stream. Got through a level of RuneScape while watching it. Awesome, man. I will catch you later then. I'm probably gonna take a break for at least a half hour, maybe an hour more, and then come back and stream more this afternoon. Wall test. Yeah. See you, man. Why did it break? We should not have those individual blocks. Like that center one, at the very least, should be a center block. That's very straightforward. Everything's true. We should be copying north, south, east, west, and it's copying just a single. Right there is north, south, east, west even. If we look at that block by itself, it is that shape. What? Is it this else again? Like one of these not true? Did we revert? Oh, we reverted everything. We reverted everything. Okay, okay. I know what it is. This Java file right here. We just fixed it. 100% sure we just fixed it. There it is. Okay, we're good to stop streaming. I'll catch you guys after lunch.